I opened my first restaurant when I was 22 years old, 23 years old. Okay. I was open for 11 years. I've opened like international concepts. I think I'm the most winningest pizzeria in the history of Miami. I was open 11 years in Burpo. I mean, I was next to City Center before City Center was a thing. Before it was even built, it was just grass. The most interesting side of my kind of lifestyle is the fact that I'm not obsessed with pizza. I'm like obsessed with entrepreneurship.
According to the National Restaurant Association, about 60% of restaurants close within their first year, and about 80% closed within their first 5. That's why it's so impressive that Franco Stanzione had a restaurant that was open 11 years. Now he has a new concept that is hugely award-winning, and he's in a position to train other entrepreneurs on how to open up their own pizza restaurant. I hope that you take away some of the things that Franco might do a little bit differently that has helped him be in the industry for so long. This is an interview with Franco Stanzione.
So tell me your name and tell me what you do. My name is Franco Stanzione. I'm the owner and operator of Stanzione Hospitality. Anyone can make pizza, but not anyone can make award-winning pizza. How do you do that? Repetition. We've been doing this for a long time. I think we have a lot of reps. Able to train under someone who's very, very good and also an award-winning pizza maker. And thankfully, I was able to take those skills that I learned and apply them in my same restaurant and constantly trying to push. I mean, I think that every single day I'm looking to be better. I'm never satisfied with my product, never satisfied with anything that I'm doing, really. And that lack of satisfaction helps propel me forward to make sure that I'm constantly pushing to improve. And I think that that helps win awards. I think I lasted like a very long time for that systems, and where when I did Stanzione, I was very planned and organized. And because I was a kid, I was insecure about what I was doing. And I always referred back to those systems. You know, we had exams for our servers. Whoever got the highest exam got the most hours. So we would do inventory every night of every single piece that we had, including our silverware. I've had restaurants that have lasted less than a year, and I've had some that have lasted more than a year. I have one concept that's been around for 6 years and one that was around for 11 that I just closed, and one in downtown that I closed within a year. The reason why I think the first one was successful was based on the fact that I was very young. I was able to dedicate so much of my life to it. And besides that, I was able to figure out the systems in ways to be extremely successful. And I think that a lot of those systems weren't applied in the same way because we just expanded so quickly. And that's why we might have had failure in the one that was like a year. And that's the other reason why the one for 6 years has been able to succeed, is because we used a lot of the same systems in the other ones.
Investors are probably pretty scary. Yeah, the ice bears. At what point did you know that was part of the thing?
That was the hardest part, my first investor. But it was a very small investment. All the property was distressed, and I tried to buy the property, but I didn't really have any money. So I was going to put the deal together at the last minute, but I did understand data and how to make a deal kind of happen. And then after when that didn't happen, at least for 15 years. And I pushed the lease date as far as I could, like the lease signings, because I didn't have money for a security deposit. So I could just figure it out. I was trying to interrupt the sale because I thought they're going to sell the city center because the announcement Squires and your majestic property that's going to open. I can't imagine them having issue on the front. And then I ended up having to make it through. You know, so the investors came out. I just knocked on every door out of anybody that I knew, friends, family, random acquaintances. Ended up being one of my bosses, my old bosses who invested in me. I used to work at a hotel in Latin America, and he had just moved to the United States and was looking to make an investment in the US. So it's the option.
How do you know when it's time to leave the thing that you have to do to get to do the thing that you want to do?
I think you have to have proof. You have to have some value. I had value in my lease, and that's what made me be able to walk into the door with the investors would feel confident in what I was pitching them. I think that really helped. I was like, hey, look, there's this project. Worst case scenario, we'll sell the property and we'll sell our lease. We have a 15-year lease. It's under market for all of these years. I believe that, if we look at the trends in the real estate market and commercial, we're going to see this go all the way up to $85 a foot, and we're currently getting 42 a foot, and the max to get to 65 a foot. So I don't see anywhere where we're going to lose money here. We'll just sell the lease. Market returns right now are great. It's 2011 when I'm seeking investment. The market's starting to come back, right? And I think it's starts to really come back 2012, 13. But I think we can outperform the market, and construction back then, I think it was I think it says it is $78,000. Gray shell to open up a restaurant. It's not like that anymore,
Yeah. What should kids be paying attention to that maybe isn't as advertised or isn't cool today?
Financial data is incredibly important. I think being able to read financial documents, create spreadsheets, and really be able to show people on a piece of paper, a clear path to success. I think that's really important. I also believe marketing is incredibly important and something that I've lacked in my career. So I see that as the biggest pitfall of where I'm lacking. And that's something that I actively still try to learn at this age, is how to be a better marketer for my brand and myself. However, I do think that studying finance is incredibly important. It's been one of the things that I've been able to rely on the whole time throughout my career. It's been something that I think is a huge value add. I'm able to analyze those numbers. I can see a deal. I have friends in the commercial real estate field that they need answers on certain questions on rents being doable or this or that for certain concepts. I'm that guy that they can ring up and we can make sure that it's going to work. I think it's nice to have the confidence in that sector of my life.
When you went to go study finance, what was the original dream?
I don't think I really had a dream. I was really confused. My first avenue that I studied was music. And then I switched to photography. And then after that was when I switched to finance. I do have somewhat of a creative side. I believe that building companies comes from that creative side. And when I was in college, I built a small company that was very similar to an older company called Guild. It was kind of like a clothing auction website. And I built that out. Focus was on retail. And that's when I realized, I really enjoy solving problems. So whether it would be in the pizza field, in some kind of e-com website, whatever it was, I really enjoyed that. I built another thing where it was almost like a Craigslist where you could sell books. I started a car washing company. I also started a dog walking company. The idea was to make enough money where I could pay for stuff, buy a surfboard, and go to Costa Rica. That was like a major push for me. And when I was a kid, I was very clear in my life. My 17th birthday, I sat down with my father and he asked me why I was upset. I told my father I'm upset, not in a negative way, but I just know that this is probably the least amount of responsibility. I currently just have to worry about good grades, work. I have a place to live. Thankfully, I have shelter. I have food. I have someone who helps me clean. I have all of these things. And this is probably the last of my life. I'm going to have all of these things. And my major concern is going to be washing enough cars to be able to go to Costa Rica. So I was very clear on the fact of where life was going. And I knew that I had to get started early in order to make sure that if I wanted to create a different life, create something myself that wasn't a 9 to 5 at the office, I would be prepared.
We have a lot of pizza. So I think we're good.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
I was taught to talk a lot.
Would that be interviews? Like,
As much as